Alright, here we are in game 2, seeing if I want to keep this hand. I think I do. Especially if my opponent's on the mulligan, because this is a Vault of Whispers, Opal, Vault Scourge, double Vault Scourge. Next turn can play Cranial. Tundra, though, might get a little difficult. Trying Tezzeret's good there. Probably want to save my other Mox Opal for when I can play him. This is indeed Miracles. But I don't think there's anything wrong with running out both these Vault Scourges. And then shipping the turn on back. See, I think this is probably going to be Miracles. And we get our next turn, which is Seed of the Synod. So, I think I go Cranial. See as bait, see if that gets countered. I think I want the Tezzeret to resolve a little more. So swords, sure. Still get to swing. Happy I got that out of my opponent's hand. So opponent plays a land and just passes. So this is unfortunate because I really want this Tezzeret to resolve. If I draw a land, I guess I'm in pretty good shape for that. Thoughtcast. I think I'm a little more comfortable playing that right now. So attacking for 6. To another swords, okay. So I think next turn now I kind of have to play the... Well, I can play an Etch Champion, I guess. But I think I'd rather try and resolve this Tezzeret. So let's see if he does. Spell Pierce. I knew it was going to be too good to be true, but I had to go for it, I think. Probably should have gone for it a little earlier. Creeping Tar Pit. Maybe this isn't Miracles. Well, now it's going to be up to the Etch Champion. One of them, hopefully, to win the day here. There's the Force. Force pitching Force. I like that. So this Ornithopter. Next turn, have the bat. I can either play. No. Either equip Cranial. But I think as long as he only has 2 cards in hand, I'm going to want to go ahead and attempt this again. What could this be? Mana Leak? Oh, Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Snapcaster Mage, Flashback Force. Oh, Flashback Brainstorm. Sounds good. Means he doesn't have another blue card in his hand already, so I like that. And Etched resolves. Maybe he set himself up for a brainstorm, but that's okay. I mean, not a brainstorm, a terminus, but it didn't matter as I had, I got more creatures in my hand. I'm playing around terminus at this point. And he took the shuffle. Okay, Council's Judgment. That will get in the way. Interesting that he voted for that over Cranial, I think, but whatever. I will be taking 2. Another Ornithopter. Well, I can try, go ahead and try and resolve that. I'm going to play the other one so I can equip it next turn. If he doesn't have Terminus. If he does, well, that's fine. I'm threatening lethal at this point, though. He has to top deck it here, and he didn't. Oh, maybe this is some sort of Stoneforge Mystic deck? I didn't even think of that. GT. Yeah, I think GT is going to be too little too late here. So that changes everything, actually. At this point, I can switch over something if he tries to go for one of these. So even if he has a yeah, so. Was he targeting that one? Yeah, there we go. Alright, so some sort of Stoneblade deck. Sorry. Excuse me. Prexing Revoker. Keep my own GT. Pick out Frogmite, Orthopter, Midnight. And I guess Vault Scourge, because I got so many. Well, Vault Scourge is basically a 1-drop, so don't need to take him out. Maybe another Frogmite. Alright, we'll try this out. This deck has so many 2-drops. So yeah, I like the Esper version of Affinity a lot. Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus is just super nice to close out games that normally you wouldn't be able to close out. And it's just, you know, he can do that for 1 turn. You know, you +1 him, and his ultimate's only 4. And the 4 mana cost of him is pretty insignificant in a deck that's playing Ancient Tomb, Mox Opal, and Springleaf Drum. Unfortunately, Affinity is, you know, not really a tier 2 deck, tier 1 deck. I do like this hand. It's a little slow. I can't play Arcbound turn 1. But I do like the blue and white. I do like having 3 mana sources, 2 Arcbounds, and 2 Thoughtcasts. I think Thoughtcast is going to be pretty important in this game. Help me draw into some good stuff here. Opponent leads off with Ponder, sure. What do I want to lead off with? Crocus I don't think is very useful in this matchup. Oh, and Midnight is actually perfect, because now I can play it. I was actually hoping to draw something like that, because now I can play the Arcbound turn 1, so that's pretty sweet. Next turn I can play the other Arcbound, like a Thoughtcast, like a double Thoughtcast. Definitely going to be at least 1 Thoughtcast next turn. Let's start with a Thoughtcast. play him, play him. Just trying to generate some lots of artifacts. Now that I'm pretty sure his deck's not playing Terminus, I'm not playing around with it anymore. Brainstorms in response. So for now, I think I want to keep the Ornithopter around instead of sacrificing it to get an extra point of damage in, because if I draw Tezzeret, I'm going to want to be able to play him. So I need all 4 mana. So opponent brainstorms, shuffles, swords. I'll put those counters on Midnight. So don't get the extra counter out of this transaction because the Arcbound hadn't resolved, but still come out on top, I think. My opponent is forced to use some spot removal. I get an extra counter out of the deal. And at the end of the dust settling, I still have an Arcbound Ravager. So it could have been much worse. So yeah, sometimes Affinity just has hands that come out swinging, just like in Modern. That's why I love the deck so much. Another Brainstorm Shuffle for my opponent in his Esper. He's also playing Esper, just not the... Well, you know, he's kind of playing an artifact version since he's playing the equipment deck. Disenchant, eh? I guess I didn't really need to sacrifice him. We'll just go ahead and put that counter onto Midnight still, because I want to be able to tap the Ornithopter for mana if I need to. Disenchant's going a little deep, I think. I don't think that's the best removal spell for Affinity. Like, it's really good, don't get me wrong, just destroy almost... Okay, so yeah, there we go. Oh, I need some black. It's just that it costs 2. I mean, granted, it is an instant, but it only gets one thing, and it costs 2. So, Force of Will, or Daze. Force Pitching Spell Pierce. I'm fine with that. Swing 3. Now, the 2-for-1s you get on Force of Will are pretty sweet sometimes. Although, granted, I would have rather had a Tezzeret right now. Baleful Strix, that might actually be a bit of a problem. And Academy Runes, and Stoneforge Mystic. So now going for Jite. So I might be in a bit of trouble here unless I can do... Its Champion will help. Let's start with a Thought Cast though. Okay, we draw into some stuff. I think first thing I want to swing with Midnight, and even though I know it will trade with the Baleful Strix, I don't want my opponent to be able to get in the air with the Jite. So I'm going to attack. And my opponent does accept the trade. Granted, he can't Academy Ruins it back, but this is still buys me a turn of him not attacking with Jite it. Next, we play Etch Champion. Mox Opal. And Vault Scourge. Then ship the turn. So actually, Arcbound would be pretty good against Jite because it does prevent the combat damage. But now he can either play equip Jite, or he can get back his Baleful Strix and put it on top of his library. Which actually is, yeah, that's actually pretty good, right? Because you just keep drawing the card off Baleful Strix. But either way, I've got a few turns before he can actually attack with an equipped Jite here. And I will not be attacking with Etch Champion unless I draw a Cranial Plating, in which case I probably will. So I can dodge swords on one of my creatures. Is he just going to play it now? Or is this for... Oh, okay. Engineer Explosives on 2. Doesn't seem... What does that get rid of? That gets rid of Vault Scourge? I think it gets rid of more of his stuff than my stuff. So do I want to go for my own GT now, or do I want to go for Cranial? Because he can just pop this. If I go for Cranial, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be lethal, so he would basically have to use it then. It'd be better to be patient, though. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could be 8, 9, 10, 11. So he would basically have to blow it up. And what would happen? He would get rid of Cranial. He would get, yeah, it would still wouldn't be that good. He would get rid of Cranial. He would get rid of Vault Scourge. Oh, maybe he has a counterspell, but none of this even matters. Could get Manriki Gusari also. I'm gonna get you too, though. So now I kind of wish I'd gotten the Cranial, I think, but it doesn't matter. So, yeah. So that's fine. Because I still have the Etched. The Engineered Explosives on 2 is really interesting, because right now, even though it gets rid of everyone's stuff, it gets rid of a bunch of the stuff he needs as well. Okay, so there's a true name involved. So I think this is my moment to... Maybe I should have gotten the Cranial, because then I could definitely be winning here. Arcbound. So actually, I think I can win with Arcbound. This costs 2 to do? Yeah. So that's 1, 2. Yeah, this is definitely going to be enough. So now we sack 6 things to Arcbound, 8 things. We need to get Arcbound to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I have enough. Wait, well I have a... Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'll still have 3 artifacts. So yeah, that's fine. So 1. And he could disrupt this if he has a swords in his hand. I guess I could have gotten him for an extra point of damage with Vault Scourge here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and my opponent concedes. Alright, so yeah, Arcbound Ravager and Etched Champion got us there in the end. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys for match 3.